Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another tutorial and review about 3 products by a company which makes really great products when it comes to lighting. And here is the Profoto C1 Plus, that's the Profoto C1, and here's the Profoto Connect, which allows you to connect the Profoto C1 Plus with your mirrorless camera or your DSLR. It's really simple, just slide the Profoto Connect on top of your DSLR and then you can connect it to the C1 Plus. That's not possible in combination with the C1. You can control both flashes using your smartphone. At the moment, I think it's only possible with Apple devices and not with Android devices. However, I expect the Profoto app to be available soon. 290 bucks, 300 bucks and 500 bucks. For whom are these products actually made? I think for everyone who just likes being a bit more creative than others, or to set some special lighting onto your product. If you have your own coffee shop running or your food blog on Instagram, these 2 devices may be a correct option for you to set some highlights on your products or your food. That might be really cool. The important question is, are they really worth their price? And that's what we're figuring out today in this review. And so let's get started with the unboxing first. Let's make a quick unboxing of the Profoto Connect. As you can see, it's compatible with Canon cameras. It's available for other manufacturers as well, like Sony and Nikon, I guess. And it's compatible with the iPhone 7 and later, that means iPhone 8, iPhone 10, iPhone 11. And as you can see, there is not much in that box. It's the Profoto Connect. Here's that little dude. And below that is a USB-C cable. Nice. And a user guide. That's the box of the Profoto C1. And here's the box of the Profoto C1 Plus. That is the Profoto C1 Plus inside its box. And inside here you have a user guide and a USB-C cable. Here's the C1. Inside of this box, of course, you do have a user manual as well and a USB-C cable. One thing, if you buy a product for 300, 500 and 290 bucks, are they feeling good? Yes, they are. You don't want to buy a product for more than hundreds of bucks and you don't want to have that cheap feeling, and that's exactly what these things are not. They don't feel cheap at all. So they feel really valuable, solid. They both have an internal battery which lasts for almost 2000 shots at full power, which is quite amazing. However, you can use the continuous light on the C1 for 30 minutes and on the C1 Plus for 40 minutes. The internal battery will charge within 2 hours maximum. And as you can see already from their dimensions, the C1 is slightly smaller and it weighs 120 grams, which is 0.3 pounds. And the C1 Plus weighs 210 grams, which is 0.5 pounds, including the dome diffuser. And you can't change the dome diffuser on this one here, and on the C1 Plus you can. Sometimes it's necessary to read the user instructions, trust me. So because on this side I figured out, okay, here's off, here's auto and here's manual. Do I need to press it like twice to get in manual? Do I need to press it once to get in auto? Or what is that button for? Then I figured out, well, it's just a lock switch to prevent the thing going off from your camera. And as you can see here on top, it says twist to turn on. And I was like, it's even simpler than I thought. So if you twist it, it goes into auto. If you twist it another time, it goes in manual. And that's how it works. On this side, you have a USB-C port to charge the Profoto Connect, and it will last for amazing 30 hours of use. It costs 290 bucks at the moment, and you can also connect it to the C1 Plus. However, it's not possible to connect it to the C1. It works at a distance of 300 meters or 1000 feet, and it weighs only 43 grams, which is 0.09 pounds. That's quite nice. You can also use it in combination with other Profoto products. Let's speak about some facts very quick before we start. Here you can bother your neighbors because it has a maximum output of 1600 lumen. This one here, the C1 Plus, maximum output of 4300 lumen. The temperature range is between 3000 and 6500 Kelvin on both devices. You can't connect the C1 to the Profoto Connect. However, you can connect this device to the Profoto Connect, and it worked, as I said, at a distance of about 300 meters, which is 1000 feet. Here's the C1, as you can see, that's the USB-C port to charge the C1. If you turn it around, here's another button. If you hold it for 2 seconds, there's a little LED popping up, and that means it's active now. And if you go now into the Profoto app, you can connect it straight away. Make sure to update the firmware, as I said earlier. If you press it once, you turn on the model light. If you press it another times, you turn it off. And all the other features you need to control using the app. That's the C1 Plus, and as you can see straight away, here's the difference. USB-C port to charge it, and you have a tripod mount. That is really important if you want to place the C1 Plus somewhere. You don't have it on the C1 though, unfortunately. So if you turn it around, you have more options because you can turn on and off the device. Hold it for 2 seconds and then it's on. You can make a test flash. Here is the continuous light. You can change the output here, the minus and the plus, and you can get rid of the dome diffuser. If you need it back, place it on top, and via the magnetic mounting, it's back on the C1 Plus. So first of all, make sure to turn on Bluetooth on your smartphone. That's what I have done. Turn on the C1 Plus, for instance. Go to the Profoto app, which looks like this at the moment. No connected light. Wait a second. There we go. Connect device. Make sure to make a firmware update first before using all devices. As you can see, here's my remote control, so I can use also the continuous light. You can set the output on these really simple made sliders. You can also choose the color temperature. Hope you can see that. Go to cold, here go to warm. And here's the energy output that you may use to pop up the flash. In the submenu, you have the Academy, My Profoto. Here are some tutorials. A remote control, which is this one here. And you do have also a camera feature, which is nice because here's the flash. You can enable it or turn it off. Here's the continuous light. Turn it off or turn it back on. You can choose the color temperature. The exposure allows you to choose either auto or manual mode. As you can see, that's what it's doing. You can go into the white balance. And here it's a bit strange because you can set it down to 2076 Kelvin or you go up to 10,000 Kelvin. Here you have the tar, which goes into the green tar, or you go into the magenta looking tar. Then white balance, that's what I just said. Here's the zoom. You can choose between 2x and 1x. You have a timer feature and you can turn the camera around and film yourself. That's an awful white balance though. I think that is much better. The principle is the same using the C1, which I turn on now. Now, device connected, it works so simple and it works so quick, yeah? If I go back, so the camera features are all the same. However, if you go to remote control, it's also continuous light. You can regulate the color temperature. And that's it. And as you can see, the functionality is basically the same. However, you can only control this device using the app. and you can't use it in combination with a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. I was in Frankfurt for you, and there is a nightclub called Gibson Club. So if you're in Frankfurt and you want to do a little bit of partying, make sure to stop by. In the Gibson Club, I was using the C1 Plus in combination with the Profoto Connect and my Canon EOS 5D Mark III. One major disadvantage on the Profoto Connect is that you don't have any focusing light. However, if you would like to do some event photography using these devices, make sure to turn on the model light, maybe set it on a lower power range so that not everyone thinks, oh, why is the sun shining in the club? And that's what you can do. And here are some examples using the Profoto C1 Plus and the Profoto Connect in combination with my Canon EOS 5D Mark III. And here are some other examples. We were in Frankfurt for you in Sachsenhausen, that's Frankfurt South, to take some more example photos. It was raining on that day, so it was an awful day for us. However, we made it happen so that you can watch this review now. We used the C1 and the C1 Plus outside in combination with my iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 10s Max, however they call it. It's so annoying, their name's unbelievable. In the past it was iPhone 1, 2, 3 and now it's iPhone blah 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 blah. We used the Profoto app for taking all these photos and that's how it looked like at the end. So let's get to the most important question. Are they worth its price and do you really need them? Well, if you're at home and as I said, you have your coffee, or you have your food blog on Instagram and you would like to enhance your photography skills because you're mainly taking photos using your smartphone, go for the C1 because it's a really nice device. If you think for the future, maybe I will get myself a camera, make sure to get the C1 Plus because only this device you will be able to connect it to the Profoto Connect and to your camera. If you will only shoot with your smartphone, go for the C1. And as I said, the interface via Profoto using the app is so simple that makes it really worth using these devices. The battery life at the moment is quite stunning. I mean, 2000 shots using the C1 and the C1 Plus. I have no idea, because you can't change the battery, how the performance will be within 2 or 3 years from now if you use them every day. And everything is just simple using Profoto devices. If you consider taking also photos using a big DSLR, make sure to get the C1 Plus because otherwise you can't connect your DSLR to that flash. Yes, I do like that if you go into the video description, you scroll down, really on the bottom there's a link to the Google Drive account from which you can download some example files. I hope you enjoyed watching this review. If you have any further questions, make sure to post a comment below. And thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye from Frankfurt.